Hey, what's up? We are back, episode 3. This is a long interview because there's so much information for everybody that one interview is just not enough. Welcome back, Adrian.
Hey, Octavio, how's it going, man? Thank you guys for having me over again.
It's good to have you back here, my friend. And I know you have so much information that, like I said, 1 episode, 2 episodes, we're going on 3 episodes for this guy. Now, I know that it's been a long journey for you, you know, but tell me a little bit about the journey, living in Canada, moving to Mexico. Like that's where we left off last time. So
absolutely, man. Thank you so much for having me again here. Yeah, I'm glad. I'm so happy. I'm stoked actually to be here. And I like it that it's becoming a weekly thing. So yeah, going back to my original story, and this is something that I want to tell you guys. So as you know, I was an engineer. I'm still an engineer, a professional engineer in Canada. And I worked there for 8 years. I worked with my brother, I flipped houses, I did everything that I could to make money. Although I never know where my money went.
Usually what happens?
Usually, I don't know, it's not in my pocket for sure, but I made some savvy investments back in the day, in 2015, so at least I kept some of it. So now I'm gonna tell you guys a little bit more about my journey. By the way, I just wanna be straightforward. This is from my personal experience, guys. This is not financial advice. I'm just going to talk numbers. I love talking numbers because I'm an engineer, but this is not financial advice, okay?
Okay, this is just your personal experience, the whole journey. I want to know the whole thing. Like people like myself want to know how you did it, you know?
Awesome, man. Thank you so much. Yeah, well, the thing is moving here to Mexico. So it all started when I was working as an engineer. I worked for a company in Toronto. And that gave me enough money, at least enough down payment to build a small house in St. Catharines. So that house that I bought is near Brock University. So it's rented right now. I have great tenants. I love them. They're the best. And that's all the money that I could have made was there, still there. All my equity is there. But then I made the move here to Mexico thinking that I can do more without money. So that was my personal experience. That was my personal thought. And I was always thinking about that. And I felt it was a great way for me to start and maybe pulling a line of credit. That was my first thought because I had some money accrued in that house. Right now, the marketing in Canada for housing is not as hot as it was. It was 4 years ago, maybe even before the pandemic. It was great, but now it's really slowed down. Nobody's buying houses anymore. There's a lot of people moving away from Canada, so that's something to think about. Maybe people should acknowledge that there are better destinations for your money and for you to live if you can afford it.
Okay, that's great. I was gonna before we continue, there's more people that want to come on the show. We've gotten a couple of requests of people, but I want to make the official invitation so that you are the show. You are the show. You know what I'm saying? We can both interview the next guy. There's a couple of people already in line, but you have so much knowledge because you lived it. You lived the whole thing. So, I want to make that invitation.
Absolutely, for sure.
So he'll be here, episode 4, that's for sure, guys. Yeah. Now, let me ask you another interesting question. I want to know, what do you do for a living today here in Mexico? What do you do now? People want to know, okay, this is what happened when you left Canada and why. You told me the why and how come you made that move. We went over that. Now that you're here, you made some investments, obviously, but now we want to know what you're doing and how you're doing.
Awesome, thank you. Yeah, that's a great question, actually. Well, the thing is, for starters, you don't need enough. You don't need a lot to live here in Mexico. I think you just need enough that you can have such a decent and nice lifestyle here. So what I do is personally, I have an Amazon store where I'll sell some products.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, that's my bread and butter, I will say. Yeah, so if you can become a digital nomad in some sort, I think that's a great way to start here. That's what makes me my income to live a good lifestyle here. And and besides that, I also work in real estate. I have a partner here. I partnered with a Mexican partner here in Mexico, and we're starting to develop projects. We're starting to plan to build and develop buildings, and to sell them low-rise buildings near the beach.
So wait. So that's what you're doing right now as we speak.
So what I do is I have I have a store in Amazon. So that's
Okay,
what I
that's
do.
great. That's
Yeah.
great.
That makes me enough to live here in Mexico. Now I'm gonna talk numbers. I don't know if we're interested in that.
Wait. I'm always interrupting you because there's so much. I got to pick your brain to learn a lot more about how you're doing things. I know that Amazon store, that's like a whole different episode because I myself want to know more about that. And I know there's a lot of people out there who want to make money from Amazon. So save that for later.
Absolutely, for sure, for sure.
Go ahead, continue.
Okay, so that's where I make my money here, my bread and butter, I would say. That makes me enough money to live here, like a really decent and nice lifestyle here in Mexico. And besides that, I became an investor because I knew that my money, if I put it elsewhere, it would make more, it would have more interest. It would be more like profitable for me. For instance, from the house that I have in Canada, I have a line of credit on it.
Okay.
So my line of credit is prime rate plus 0.25%. If people don't know what prime rate in Canada is, it's around 5% yearly.
Okay.
So then the bank charges you obviously some money. That's where I got my equity from. But for starters, when I met my partner here, what we are making and planning to make next year, it's above 13%. It's 13, 14% a year.
That sounds really juicy.
And I thank you so
really,
much. It is
really juicy.
It
man.
is actually, yeah.
That's. I think in the states, it's about 4%, 5%, if I'm not mistaken.
I think that's
Sounds about right,
I think
right?
that's the rate you get from a bank. In Canada, they're called GICs, and they're like offers that gives you the bank, the bonds of Canada,
Right.
that barely cover inflation. So that's like 3-4% at most if you get a good product, but like your money's locked up for 3-4 years. And even if you pull out the money from the bank in the line of credit, you have to pay them 5%,
Wow.
and they only return you 4%. So you actually will be losing money, right?
Of course.
So
You can't
when
put that
I
money
saw
out.
when I saw the returns here in Mexico, I couldn't believe that. And I know the market here in real estate is booming. Right now is the moment to build here. That's how that got my eye. That piqued my eye, and I was like, there's no way there's such a high demand here.
There's a huge demand here in Mexico, but that's because there's so much tourism going on. And now that the World Cup is coming, imagine that. The opportunities are endless. The sky is the limit because of the fact that so many people are going to be like, wow, this is beautiful here. Where would you suggest people to look into? Like what areas or neighborhoods?
I believe that there are several markets here. One, like the biggest markets right now that we're covering with my associate are like the Pacific Ocean and the Atlantic Ocean. Most like the cities are called Playa del Carmen, which is close to Cancun.
Yeah,
That's near the Atlantic. That's a really popular destination. People love it there. Weather is amazing. Food is great. It's like living in a resort there. Like every day of your life would be like living in a resort. And in the other opposite end of Mexico, on the Pacific Ocean, we're building in Puerto Vallarta, which is closer to the peninsula. And also there's another destination that we're trying to open soon. It's in Los Cabos, which is Baja California. That's really close to our California friends that may be listening or watching this show. And that's a beautiful destination as well. So it's forever sunshine. You're always going to be having so much fun there and living a great life, actually.
Well, another point is like here in the city, there's so many nice neighborhoods here in the city. Like any specific ones if somebody was watching this podcast and they want to like look into buying something in Mexico City, what would be your recommendation?
It's variable. Well, for instance, like as I say, I was going to discuss numbers and I want to talk numbers. So what I make, if you want to make the move and the leap of faith of coming here to Mexico, you don't need more than 2,000, 3,000 American to have a decent, a really beautiful lifestyle. Like a good place that I rent here is called Polanco. It's safe. It's beautiful. There's endless possibilities.
If you don't know Polanco, it's like the Rodeo Drive in California, the Rodeo Drive from Mexico City. So you're a lucky guy. You live in a nice neighborhood.
I appreciate that. Well, in Toronto, I live near King Street and Bathurst, which is also a nice area, but nothing compared to Mexico here, to Polanco.
Okay.
I feel like here you feel like you're living in a dream. It's beautiful. Everything is nice. Everything is new. People are polite, and weather is amazing. So yeah, those things.
Okay, so what would be I know you wanted to talk numbers, and we're expecting you to tell us. But what would be like a starting point? Like I have a friend. This is a real life story. I have a friend that will be coming around this time. I have to talk to him, but he wants to look into living in Mexico. He makes good money in the States, but he says like at the end of the day, he has nothing, like not a whole lot going on because it's so expensive. So he's coming to Mexico.
That's awesome.
And I want to like tell him to watch this podcast so he can get a good idea from somebody like yourself, somebody who went through it. So tell me some numbers. What's the starting point? How much do I need to be quote quote safe in Mexico City and live in a nice decent neighborhood? Talk to me.
Okay, perfect. So I think the base earnings that you have to make are within like from 3,000 to 4,000 Canadian, which is like 30% less in US. So $2,000, $3,000 will guarantee you a really nice lifestyle here. Wow. I know that people make more than that in the US. Yeah. And if you can afford to become a digital nomad, let's say you can work from abroad, I don't know where you're not already here, right? I have many friends that made that leap, that they have like Amazon stores. They have like they work, they sell books, they do things on like the digital market.
That makes you enough.
That makes you enough to have a really decent and like beautiful lifestyle here. Rent is, let's say if you're by yourself or if you're like a small family, it's not more than $1,000 a month, and you're living in one of the best neighborhoods in Mexico. So I would say it's really doable for everybody that wants to make that leap of faith. And for investors also, like it's amazing. I used to make 3 or 4 more times that, like 4 times more that in Canada, in my salary, my base salary, everything. But everything went on taxes. I don't know what I was paying my money. I don't know where it went.
Everybody liked right? the part where he says tax on this, tax, and you get all the tax, all the labels about taxes and taxes. I mean, I understand we have to pay taxes because we have to, but it sounds to me like in Canada they overdo it, man.
Yeah, they do actually. Well, it's nothing that I have against the government, but I think it went up too much, and people are starting to suffer.
Yeah,
and there's a lot of people that are suffering from also like being in jail, like losing their jobs. They have those things going on them. The other day I heard like about a really sad news that like I read about the health system in Canada is collapsing right now. There are like 3.8 million surgeries that are appointed, and that number could be actually 5 million people that need surgery, and they're not getting that service. Whereas in Mexico here, you can get an insurance for, let's say, $120, $130 a month, and you get coverage for those kinds of surgeries.
It's a lot more expensive, like in the States, because I lived like my whole life in the States. Right now, insurance is super expensive. Like it's insane. And if you don't have insurance, guess what? They're not going to take you in the hospital.
Wow.
If you don't have insurance, they'll just leave you out there. Don't believe me. Do your own research. It's insane. You have to have insurance, and it's extremely expensive. Here, it's not that bad. I have insurance for my whole family for like a fraction of that money that they would actually charge you in the States.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Well, in Canada, it's supposed to be free, but those things come at a cost. The cost of not getting attention. Let's say I was talking to one of my friends there. She had a stomach ache. She went to the hospital at 8 to the emergency room. She got into the actual room with the doctor at like 3 or 4 p.m. So she was aching for around 8 hours in the hospital, not knowing what was going on with her. And maybe she could have had like a burst appendix or something like that. Not that I'm saying like that she did or anything.
Is she okay now?
I think, yeah, she's fine. I mean, we're still talking. I hope she's fine. I know she's fine.
We hope you're okay. What's her name?
Stella.
Stella, we hope you're okay, okay? Sorry.
Love you, Stella. You're the best. Yeah, so those things like also made me change my mindset and moving here. I think if you can afford that service, you should already be here. I mean, medicine here is great, to be honest.
I know. There's going to be a lot of people watching this. Obviously, we've seen good numbers. Thanks, by the way. Subscribe if you like the content, and let us know if there's like something that you would like to see in this channel. Now, there's a lot of people that have been watching this, and they might want to know more. And they're going to subscribe. They're going to ask questions. What do you tell these people like, stop thinking about it, right? Like let them know, like, all right, just do it.
Absolutely. The thing that I would tell them the most is like, there's nothing to lose here in Mexico. Like people here, they will speak your language. There's a lot of American friends that I have here.
I know.
I have Canadian friends. Like the neighborhood that I live in, I have so many friends that actually speak in English. They're starting to put signs there that we also speak Spanish in this shop. Those kinds of things. So that's something not to fear. Weather here is amazing. You don't need that much to make a good living here and afford to become an investor like I did. For instance, I pulled, and I'm going to talk numbers. This is not financial advice, guys. Again, it's just my personal experience.
Just your personal experience.
Yeah, I pulled,
let that be clear.
Exactly. I pulled around $100,000 from my line of credit in Canada. I pay 5% on that, but I'm making here 13, 14%. So that's a no-brainer. That's just like passive income that is going back to my wallet, and that's after taxes, to be honest. So it's great.
Wow.
Exactly.
Wow.
So I would encourage people that want to build that product to talk to me. You don't need to have like 100,000. You can start with the number that you feel comfortable with. You can do 20,000, 30,000.
Yeah, it's not that much.
It's
man.
not that much. It depends. But the thing is, to each their own. Everybody has their own money, their own like investments. You should never put all the eggs in the same basket.
Don't put. Yeah.
But
right.
I believe that it is important to diversify your amount, your money, when you're as much as possible. Let's say if you have an extra 30K that is not doing anything in the bank, in the US or in Canada, if you put it here, it's safe because we go through trust funds. So all the money is within the like financial system. Everything has contracts.
All legal, legit contracts,
Yeah, exactly.
the whole 9 yards. You have nothing to worry about. Now, you are obviously you're a young man who is being who's very successful, and I know there's a lot of people out there who are like, I don't know what to do. I have a little bit of money on the side, and they don't know what to do, man. And I think you could actually, through your personal experience, be a guide to a lot of these young entrepreneurs who don't like to work for somebody. Just be your own boss. Like,
yeah, I believe that would be great. Yeah, I like to encourage people. I'm not. I did some financial studies in Canada while I was there. As I said, I'm a professional engineer. I love watching economic shows. I read books. I read the news street.
you're just a numbers guy.
Exactly.
You
I'm
love
a
the
numbers guy.
You love
Yeah, I
numbers.
really think that that's one of my strengths.
So if something makes sense, you're like, I'm off with
I
it.
believe that, yeah, I can set aside all my feelings about like the investment and all the insecurities about investing, but I also make the numbers and I make them make sense in my head. And once that is done, I believe that it is a good opportunity for people to understand that you don't need much to become an investor. And if you invest in real estate right now in Mexico, where it's booming, it's one of the safest investments you're gonna make. In Canada, the market is crashing at least like 10 to 15% a year. So the property that I owned before, now it's not worth as much as it was.
Wow, that's
I hope
insane.
that gets back to normal, but eventually I'm gonna plan on sell that house. Unfortunately, get rid of my beautiful tenants that I love so much.
Oh man.
But the thing is, I'm thinking about it, and I think I can make the move here in Mexico.
So slowly but surely, you're just cutting all your ties that you have right now with Canada when it comes to property and investments in Canada.
I believe that's what I'm trying to do because it makes more sense here. And actually, like, I decided to move here to Mexico. So if you're making that decision, it has to be fully on. You have to do not hesitate on making that. I can coach you if you want. You can talk to me straight, directly. I'm here to help and to contribute to people that are watching us. And I really want to be a guide, and I can help you out start with anything that you may need here, as long as your mind is set and you're
right. As long as you're
that.
ready to make that change, right?
Absolutely.
If you're
yeah.
ready to make that change, make sure you contact him.
Yeah.
I'm going to leave you his social media at the bottom. But what's next for you?
Oh, next for me. Well, maybe next would be for me to start my own company here, which doesn't take much actually. I thought it was gonna be more difficult to become a permanent resident, a business owner here, and the path here is easier. It took me around 3 to 4 months to become a permanent a resident here. I have my residency open, and that you can just make through contacts. Now I have more contacts than anything. In Canada, it took me 3 to 4 years to become a fully permanent resident there.
Wow.
But it pays dividends to be here. I think that next for me would be to coach and start like coaching people directly and personally to move their financials, make them move here, at least have a little bit of property, a little bit of equity here in Mexico. You're not going to regret it. To be honest, you're not going to regret it. And even if you move here for a time of period until our country, Canada, starts getting better, that would be so advisable. But I think once you make the move here,
Yeah, you're not gonna want to.
I think you're not going to want to come back. Yeah, for sure. I think that if you move here, you're here to stay.
Nice. Wow. There's, like I said, the fact that you made this huge change that not everybody is able to do, not everybody makes that decision because it's not an easy thing to do, especially if you have kids, you know. But guess what? There's some schools here, like they'll teach you in English. Like there's some beautiful schools here, private schools that do not cost as much as it would be in Canada or the States. I mean, I got friends who have their kids in American schools and they're like, hey, this is even better, you know? So don't be afraid to make that change. If you have more questions, feel free to contact us. Please leave us your social media.
So yeah, follow me through my socials. I'll leave them here down in the description.
Perfect. So we'll see you guys next time. Hopefully, Adrian is going to help us and teach us how to sell on Amazon. So that might be the next one. I'll see you guys next time.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Octavio. Thanks for having me, guys. Take care of yourselves.